Hi, everybody. Ron Placone here. You're watching another summary from the Indie Bohemians morning show. One of the things we talked a lot about today, Pope Francis. A little while back, Pope Francis allegedly said that animals go to heaven. And that was a big deal. Everybody was like, oh, man, animals go to heaven now. And then later, it turns out that was taken a bit out of context. That's not what he actually said. Now, I was raised Catholic growing up, so when I first saw this, my first thought was, man, I really wish Pope Francis would have been Pope when I was a little kid and all my pets would die. Because, that was a little weird. I'm not going to lie. Like, hey, sorry that Zippity the gerbil died, kids. I know that's pretty rough. We'll see him in heaven someday, right? No, he doesn't have a soul. Sleep tight. It was a little strange. But so, people that were really hopeful that practice Catholicism or whatever, so the Pope saying that meant a big deal. Apparently, that's not actually what he said, and animals may or may not go to heaven, according to that religious narrative. But what's interesting here is the concept of a soul. Now, not everybody is religious, and certainly not everybody shares the same religion. But a lot of people are spiritual, and I think that gets into the concept of a soul, which can be defined in many different ways and means many different things to many different people. But I think kind of stripped down to the barest essence, the concept of a soul, it's like that goes beyond your physical manifestation. It goes into your aura and feelings and love and kind of that presence that sort of just exists and continues to exist after one is no longer there in the physical sense. And some believe that the idea of a soul is just captured in memories. Others believe it's a little more powerful, where it's kind of an essence. And then, of course, others believe that essence is a spiritual being that will go to an eternal paradise or an eternal damnation, depending on the type of person that they were. But a lot of different faiths and schools of thoughts and religions, of course, have some idea of a soul and of an afterlife and stuff like that. So my idea of the soul is simply that presence and that manifestation that goes beyond the physical being that kind of evokes feelings. And I believe it to be a little bit more than just memories. Now, what it is, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if there's a heaven or a hell. I don't know if it's an actual spirit or what kind of being it is, but I do think that there's something after we die, basically. I do think that there's something there, and I believe that to be some sort of a soul, some sort of an essence. That being said, going by that definition of the soul, I would also say that animals do have one. The reason I would say animals do have one is because based on my perception, I would say anything that is capable of feeling or giving love possesses some kind of a soul, possesses some kind of an essence, and animals are capable of doing that. They're capable of showing love and affection for their owners. They're capable of showing companionship and stuff like that. So I would say that, yes, animals do have a soul. And if there is a heaven, I would say that animals definitely go there. And whatever Pope Francis or any other pope or any other religious authority figure does or doesn't say isn't going to change my perception of that. Of course, that's just my perception. The perception of a total skeptic who is part of the church of I don't know and neither do you. So let's just kind of treat each other kindly. And that's sort of the extent of it all for me. But it's an interesting concept to kind of grapple with and to kind of think about. But the one thing we can all take away from it is just enjoy the present with your loved one, with your pets, because one thing is for sure is that the present cannot be taken away. Now, we could talk all day if we want to get really philosophical about whether the present is or isn't happening, but that's kind of a discussion for a different day. You've been watching another summary from the Indie Bohemians morning show. Quick groundskeeping here. Thoughts, Rants, and Cold Coffee is on a bit of a hiatus. Just kind of figuring out my next year, kind of planning out 2015. So I'm not really doing much Thoughts, Rants right now. That's not to say it's going to be gone forever. But it is going to be on hiatus for a little bit until I figure out what's next. I've been working on a lot of different content with the morning show and stuff like that. We may be switching to a different schedule with some of these things. So I'll keep you posted on that. But right now it is going to be kind of abbreviated from now until the end of the year, although I will certainly be checking in regularly until then. So have a happy Monday. And this is Ron Placone signing out.